Hello, this is Steve Ramona, your host for Doing Business with a Servant's Heart. I want to thank our sponsors, Infone, and with Infone, you can place your business on everybody's cell phone, turn their business into a web app, and with a click of a button, they'll have access to you 24/7. And also Pantheon.fm. Have you ever thought about monetizing and taking your podcast to the next level? Well, Pantheon can do that. Let us show you how. Reach out to Steve Ramona, the host, at infone.co/SR1, and I will go over with you how you can make your podcast really stand out. Let's enjoy the show. Thanks again, everybody. Welcome, everyone, to Doing Business with a Servant's Heart. This is your host, Steve Ramona. Very excited for my guest today. We had a nice conversation before. We've just met, but we've become friends. But his story is incredible, and it's a mission I really want you to listen to because I think we can all help. And this is what the world's about and serving's about. Putting all a little bit in. If we all do a little bit, a lot can happen. Hey, Jeff, welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Let's start with a story. Let people hear about what happened in the very beginning of your life and where you are today.
Right on. Well, I appreciate it. Yeah. So I was born with a condition called hydrocephalus, which is super common, but nobody seems to know what it is in the mainstream because it's invisible. You could not tell that I have it by looking at me walking down the street. But it actually is the number one reason for brain surgery in children. And every 15 minutes, somebody is having surgery in the US to address a thing with hydrocephalus. Every 15 minutes. There are over 400,000 babies born with this every single year. So it's a big deal, but nobody knows about it because it doesn't get the press that other things get. And because part of it is because it's invisible. So anyway, so I was born with it. At 2 weeks old, my parents took me to the 2-week checkup and to compare all the measurements from birth and stuff, and measure the height, the weight, the length, whatever, the head measurement. And the head measurement was a little big, and so they said, well, let's get a CAT scan. And they got the CAT scan. It came back. They said, I think there's something going on with with the ventricle. One of the ventricles is blocked in your brain. We're going to have to do brain surgery and put what's called a shunt in because you have something called hydrocephalus. And of course, that was not what my parents were expecting at their 2-week checkup with their new baby boy. And they probably freaked them out pretty good. But that is a way of life for hydrocephalus families. Brain surgery is a necessity. It's something we have many times throughout our life. I've had 7. I had a couple growing up, and then I've had 4 since 2014. My last one was in October of 2021, and it's it's just a thing. You just kind of roll with it because it's better than the alternative. Yeah, so yeah. So in a nutshell, that's hydrocephalus, and that's kind of how I started was with brain surgery, and then and kind of from there. So yeah. So yeah,
and I thank you because I wanted the audience, and I learned about this, and the invisible condition that you keep saying is important because you look at you like we talked earlier, you can't see a condition,
right? Yeah.
So it gets avoided probably. What I like what you've done is you're out in the world doing business. You told me you were a private investigator. Talk about that. You didn't let this stop you.
Yeah, so I'm not doing it as much anymore with some new things that we're doing, which we'll talk about in a minute. But yeah, for about 12 years, I was contracted in 2011 to be a private investigator, a process server, and armed security for events and things. We do security like the ballpark in town and soccer games and so. Yeah, and so you're doing surveillance and serving people papers, and it didn't stop me. In fact, growing up, it was really cool because my parents, by the way, who are amazing, my parents never let me get stopped by it because when I was growing up, instead of saying no, stop. You can't do that. You have a condition. You have a thing in your head that could kill you. Don't do that. They would just say, hey, you know what? Instead of football, how about band? You know, instead of like soccer, banging your head around, you know, on a soccer ball, how about choir? How about we do, you know? And so it was like it was more positive reinforcement of what I should do instead of no, you can't do that. So thank you, Mom and Dad, for that, because that has formed kind of how we raise our kids too. So so that was really nice. So growing up, I only had a couple surgeries growing up, and so I never really thought about it because I didn't have to, and because it wasn't made a big deal.
That leads to a hell of a lesson here. Support, whether it's family, in this case, your parents, that crossover personal and professional business, your owner, you have to have support.
Yeah, you do.
And I thank you for sharing that and out loud in public. Thank you, parents of Jeff Pearson. Shout out their names. Scott
and Joan Pearson. In fact, they wrote. My parents wrote the foreword for our journal. So I asked my dad. I said, "Can you please write the foreword? Because you're amazing at write. He's an amazing writer. He's a poet. He's like practically a poet. So they were gracious enough to write the foreword for the journal. So it was pretty cool.
Never give up. There's always options. Right? That's what I learned from you. And the audience, I hope you're hearing that. That's why I recap that, because it's teaching me things. That's why I love doing these shows.
There's always something, right?
So you're taking these lessons from your parents and you started a nonprofit to now pay it forward. I know it's a phrase used all the time, but that's really what you're doing, right? Talk about that.
Yeah, sort of. So yeah, we started an organization called Hydro with Hope, which is to help families and individuals who have hydrocephalus, to offer them resources, tangible resources, so that, I mean, our organization is more focused toward, there's tons of amazing organizations out there that help with all kinds of conditions, and there's several that help, national organizations that help with hydrocephalus. Some of them are focused on research, some of them are focused on, you know, awareness, you know, that kind of thing, and we're all for that. For us, we thought, because of what I imagine my parents' experience was, I thought we got to do something tangible. And what we did was we published a journal, which is right here. And it's called My Hydro Warrior Story. We kind of affectionately call ourselves Hydro Warriors because sometimes it's a battle, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we published this journal. It's about 150 pages long, and it is designed to help people having brain surgery for hydrocephalus, which is kind of it's going to happen, just a matter of how many times. And so it walks you right through it. It's, you know, it's got things. It's about my family, and then you can put a picture, and then, you know, there's different pages in here. You know, anyway, it's a whole bunch of stuff. Oh, and then I've got quotes in here from other people that have, you know, that I found on social media that are thriving with hydrocephalus too. And so I put them in here. Dr. Benjamin Wharf is quoted in here. He's a pioneer in the neurosurgery field with Cure International. He was gracious enough to let us put a couple quotes in here. So yeah, so it really, it's just a fill in the blank, do it at your own pace, do it, you know, and there's a little space here because we know that there's multiple surgeries. So every time you have a surgery, you grab one of these journals to go with it, and then you number it, or you put the date, and then next time you go to the doctor's office and you need some information about your last surgery, you just grab this, take it with you.
Brilliant, so Jeff. Yeah. That's brilliant.
So we were trying to help.
Well, and Hope tells me that you're out there living it. Your parents lived it from the outside. With somebody that has it, you're taking all your 46 years of experience and going, here, come to us as a nonprofit, and we'll help you through the journey.
Exactly. And that's part of it is the journal. And I would love to get this in the hands of every single hydro warrior in the country, in the world eventually. I mean, if there's 400 and something thousand babies born every year in this country, imagine worldwide, right? So I'd love to just get it out there, because there's nothing else like that out in the marketplace right now. We scoured the play, we looked and we said, well, this has to be out there. So, but also I speaking, this needs to get out there. So I'm open to, I'd love to speak more. I've done some, I'd love to do more. And then coaching is something we're kind of on the horizon of doing too, with Hydro with Hope, with now that, we've got the book out and we've got, some foundation laid there. We'd love to, I've been able to coach a couple people, and there's been a couple that really stand out. And one of them was halfway around the world in the Middle East. And they reached out to me through social media, 10-hour time difference. And I'm kind of talking them through some stuff over Facebook Messenger, it's so cool.
Yeah.
And now they're still reaching out to me, and they're sending me pictures of this little guy, and it's just awesome. So I can't wait to do that more with more families, maybe on a regular basis. We're still kind of in a development phase of what the coaching is going to look like, but I can't wait to get that going.
I'm glad you said that, because I was going to ask you what's your next, because I was hoping that would be your next step, because this is not meet Jeff Pearson and you're going to solve all the problems. It's a journey. It's 46 years for you. It's going to be years for other people.
Right.
They're going to keep coming back. Hey, this has happened. The doctor said this. Exactly. Is it correct? Can you help me with some research? I love what you're doing. God bless what you're doing, because you're really changing lives.
Thank you. Yeah. I it's been so fun just with that one in particular that I was just talking about. I mean, the little guy's name is David. They named him after David and Goliath. That was their inspiration behind the name. And I love that. This family is so cool. And so, and they were just in the States doing some stuff a while ago, not that long ago. And so I got this kind of like video call with them for the first time, and it was amazing. And so, coaching is where I really coaching and speaking is where I really want to go in the next, for the next step, just after that experience, I was like, I got to do this more.
Yeah. And I'm going to support you. I'm going to put publicly, I'm going to find ways to support you with my resource, my large network to do that, because this is big. Maybe it's 4,000 kids a year, but that's 4,000 people. Well, it's 400,000 in America.
400. It's one out of every seven. It's right now the statistic in the U.S. is roughly one out of every 770 people that's born in the U.S. is born with hydrocephalus.
Yeah, it's much.
So if you know a group of 1,000 people, you know one, whether you know it or not.
Yeah, and that's the thing; it's invisible where we get it. Oh, okay, now you guys, listeners, can understand what this is about. Yeah. Let's do a shout out. Somebody has somebody with hydro. I'm just going to call it hydro because I'll screw up the whole name.
I get it.
The hydro condition. I know, probably did.
Tongue twister. Yeah.
Yes. They may have a friend, a family member, or themselves. How can they find you to get some coaching and get the journal?
Appreciate that. So go to hydrowithhope.com, HYDRO, hydrowithhope.com. And you can get on our email, join kind of our email list, and you can also you could email me at info@hydrowithhope.com, and you could even call 719-357-6167, and you could reach me that way, or that you could text me that way, or call, and then you could also you could communicate through our we haven't talked about this yet, but you could communicate through Facebook. We're also on social media, of course, so you could reach out through Facebook is where I'm most active, but we're on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and LinkedIn. So I don't spend a lot of time on TikTok or YouTube, but I do on LinkedIn a little more, and on Facebook. And my wife likes Instagram more, so she's on there more. So, but so that's how to reach out to us. And I would love to talk to as many people as want to talk.
I'm all in now, Jeff. You don't know I'm doing this. I'm going to tell you right now. The first 4 people that reach out to you and mention the podcast. So listeners, just say, hey, I saw Steve Ramone's podcast or Doing Business Servant's Heart, something there. I'm going to send 4 of you a $20 Amazon gift card from me to support what nice. Jeff's doing is. Now I know it's 440,000, I sometimes miss some words,
I get it.
letters,
I get
numbers.
it.
This is really
It's
big.
big. Well, and on Hydro with Hope, we are a nonprofit, so you can donate to Hydro with Hope as well. So, and because it's a nonprofit, it's tax deductible. So it's the end of the year. A lot of people are wanting to donate to something I know sometimes it's for the tax write-off, but sometimes it's because of the mission. It doesn't matter whether you get the write-off or not. You believe in the mission and what they're doing. So,
Okay.
Yeah, bring it on.
You're making me serve even more now. So listen, all you listeners, anybody listening to this show, and I'm going to share it to my family and friends. I'm going to donate $50 today. I would love for you to match it or beat it.
Thank you very
much. Match it or beat it. $50 is going today.
Awesome.
If you can't do 50, I'm kind of half keen, but I'm a sports guy. I'm competitive. But donate something and reach out to me and tell me you're doing it. Or reach out to Jeff, tell me you're doing it. Even if you don't have this condition, reach out. And if you want to learn more about it, like I am today and like you are today, reach out. Maybe there's a resource you can help. Maybe there's a sponsor, or you're a founder or CEO of a company. I'm doing this, and I usually don't, but this is so big.
Well, and the other thing that alongside that, one of the crazy things that I say crazy, it was a God thing. Let's be honest. It was a door that we didn't know was a door that got swung wide open by God, but it was through some of the connections that we had that helped us get the book out. We were actually able to launch a TV show in April. And so that is where your business community and your business owners that you have connection with, anybody out there that has, and I don't want to just cast a wide net and say I want everybody to be part of this, but it has to make sense. It has to make sense to you that you like what we're doing and you believe in the mission and you want to be a part of it. But I have a TV show that I host that launched in April called Invisible Condition, and it is on E360 TV, which is an online platform that goes really everywhere in the world. And so we're on every Tuesday and every Friday at 10 a.m. Mountain Time. And we do a live show. It's an hour long. And we do a live show twice a week. And we have people on that are living with an invisible condition. Like hydrocephalus is invisible. There's thousands of them. There's, think about fibromyalgia or MS or lupus or bipolar or schizophrenia or, good Lord, endometriosis. There's so many invisible conditions that you see people, you never know what somebody's living with. See somebody walking down the street. So be nice, but because you don't know. And so that's what we do on our TV show. We have guests that come tell their story because that is therapeutic, to tell your story. It helps you know that you're not alone and that you have a community and that you have a voice and that people want to hear your story. And then we also have national and local organizations that support people with invisible conditions through research and resources that come on to the show. And we've had some amazing organizations be guests. It's just, I had no idea. This has opened my eyes to so many cool organizations. We don't have time to talk about all that, but that is the TV show. And we have 2 commercial breaks during the show. And so if anybody would like to have their message get out on a TV show this platform reaches 1 million people a month on E360. And so, it's a huge platform with huge potential for exposure. So anybody for sponsorship, for commercial ad possibilities, that kind of stuff, product placement, we've got an ad, we've got a set here, so yeah. The possibilities are endless, really. It's just a matter of talking with you and seeing if you align with the mission and believe what we're doing and want to get the word out. So,
yeah, being a nonprofit, it's a tax write-off too.
Well, the TV show is not a nonprofit.
Oh, that's right. It's
but so that wouldn't be. But we're working on some packages for advertising and something that will have a press release included, a national press release included for the company, and then also a donation. We're kind of trying to figure out how to build that in, like a donation to the nonprofit, so that part of it can be deductible. But we're still working on it.
The other thing too is a lot of companies are looking to be philanthropic. And this is a perfect opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. That's why we're trying to figure out how to build that in and not make it too much, but not, we're still working through that. But,
you want to make an impact, enough to make an impact, and whatever that is, you'll figure it out.
Exactly. So
what would you tell somebody that's listening that has the hydro condition? What's one thing you would tell them right now?
I would tell them that, here, I'll just read it out of here. I write it down, and then you don't have to remember it.
You sound a lot like me.
So, hey, I say this probably once a day. Memory's the second thing to go, Did you know that? Memory's the second thing. And then most people say, what's the first? And I say, I don't know. I forgot that years ago. So
oh, that's so good.
So that's people probably get sick of it, but I don't remember if I've told them or not, right? Because memory's the second thing to go. So okay, here we go. So at the end of my there's an about Jeff section in the book, and at the end of that, this is what I like to tell people. Number one, God is faithful all the time. God is in control, and that's a good thing. And life doesn't have to be perfect to be beautiful. So that's it. And I'll say one more thing. The one of the things that we talk about at the beginning of every single show, I say this at the beginning, something like this at the beginning of every show. We are, if you have an invisible condition, you have a voice, you have a community, and you're not alone, whether you know it or not.
Takes a village. I tell people totally. It takes a village.
And there's people, you probably passed somebody today that is living with an invisible condition you didn't know. So you're not alone.
You're a true servant. You're taking a condition you can complain about, have people have empathy for you, sympathy. You don't do that. You've built this. How is this nonprofit and helping and coaching people with a hydro condition change your life?
It has opened my eyes to so many different perspectives. I mean, not gonna lie, there was one time in the hospital, my dad had to kind of check me on something, and I was in there for 3 weeks because they found a bacterial infection in my cerebral spinal fluid, and it was collecting down here in my abdomen because it wouldn't reabsorb because it was bacterial infected. And so I had to be in the hospital for 3 weeks before they'd even touch me for surgery. And I was getting cranky, really, honestly. I was getting cranky because I felt great. They had to do a couple things to kind of prep me for surgery, but then they left me there in that condition for 3 weeks and said, okay, we'll do surgery on this day. And I was just getting restless and a little, I don't know about bitter. I don't know if that's the word, but, and he told me, look, man, these people are here to serve you. So figure out a way to serve them, because they're here to serve you and they don't have a choice. Neither do you. You're here because we're trying to get you better. So make the best of it, because it can work together too, it's like, yep. And so by the end of that visit, it was very convicting. And so by the end of the visit, in fact, I took a picture of it. I still have it today. Oh. I started keeping track of every single person's name that helped me, because that private investigator part of me was observing, and I wouldn't ask them their name. I would just see their name tag and write it down. And then at the end of the stay, I wrote down, they had the huge whiteboard with all the notes that they put in there about how the last time the person ate and blah, blah, blah. Before I left, I wrote every single person's name on the board and wrote thank you really big, and wrote every single person that helped me that 3 weeks on the board. And because of my dad, because he was like, you be grateful. because you wouldn't be here without them. So,
support, serving,
yes.
and we're running out of time here, but I have to say this. The lesson that I want you listeners to get that I've gotten is we all have obstacles. Jeff's is a lot bigger than most of us. He doesn't complain, is moving forward with his life. You have an obstacle where you're not feeling too good in the morning, but you don't want to go to those meetings because you got a sniffle. Think about Jeff's story. I'm going to do that because we're all human. We are going to make mistakes. God made us that way purposely.
Right.
So we're fallible and we can learn from them. Please, audience, learn from that, that there's no obstacle we can't overcome if we try and move forward.
Yeah.
God bless you, Jeff. I am getting emotional here because this is powerful. I want to change lives. And now you're a partner with me and a friend now. God bless what you're doing. I'm going to support you. Audience, please support him. This is big. And let's make it small, meaning let's make it not a problem anymore in 5 to 10 years where these 400,000 or more babies have not 10 surgeries, but they have 1 or 2 the rest of their life, and they can be the Jeff Pearsons of the world.
Yeah.
So with that, you've given us so much nuggets and so much stuff. I better let you finish before I start losing it here. What's one tip that you can leave the audience that you've learned in this incredible journey you've been on?
Oh man. Just know that first of all, God doesn't make mistakes. So no matter what you think about, oh my gosh, my situation, why did he, why did he do this or why did he do that? Or I shouldn't be here or whatever. No, that's not true. God doesn't make mistakes. He knows what he's doing. So if you're here for a reason. You just got to figure out what that reason is. That's is Mark Twain, right? The two greatest days in a man's life is the day he was born and the day he found out why. So just figure out why.